seeing her time, I'll just give the stage over to Karishma. Karishma, it's all yours.
Yeah, thank you, Ruchi. As Ruchi said, actually, I've done a lot of other things, and I'd like to tell you because you will understand how it got me to phonics, actually. Okay. So basically, I'm a psychology student. I've done my double masters in industrial and counseling psychology. I have a certificate in career counseling and diplomas in remedial counseling and play therapy. Okay. I'm also a freelance DMIT consultant. So now, now you're wondering, if I have all these degrees, why am I not doing something with them? So how we came to phonics is that my partner and myself, we were doing our internship for our remedial degree, and we came across so many children, who had academic difficulties. If children nowadays, when they have reading, writing disabilities like dyslexia, people are very fast to label them, and they get sent to the school counselor, and you will get 4 to 5 children per class, about 10% per class, which is a very high number. Okay. So 4 to 5 children per class, you will find having some form of learning disability. But what we found in our internship is that most of these children are not naturally learning disabled. Okay. They don't have academic issues. Their base was not done correct. Okay. We've seen where the child has started, he's written a completely incorrect sentence and the teacher has given it correct. Okay. So the thing is that most of them are not naturally having these issues because the base was not correct. So that is how we came to phonics, that before we get to higher levels, it's very important that the base should be correct. Okay. And phonics is not something that is a choice any longer. It is absolutely a necessity. Okay. Before, say, in our times, we had our friends who were engineers whose English is not correct. It's absolutely fine. Okay. In that generation. Now, if you look at your job prospects, even peons need to have a, English base. Even they need peons who are, they will say, English speaking. It's okay. Not a very elaborate form of English, but at least English speaking. So, it has become absolute necessity. You can't leave it on chance. Okay. And also we found out when we got deeper and deeper into it, is that it is not being done well. Okay. There are very clear cut rules. There is a clear cut structure to go about it, but most teachers do not know about it. Okay. And why this is going on and this system is going the way it is, because of course even we as parents do not know about it. It is in India because it is comparatively new, and we are just picking up the foreign systems. It's, well, that clarity is not there. And I travel to I'm based in Mumbai, so I travel to Pune, Nasik, Surat, Baroda for trainings. So we actually train play school teachers. Okay. So the thing is, most people are not aware of these things. So I'll give you a basic gist today, and we do it in much more detail in our training, which we'll speak about at the end of the session. Okay. So now coming to our system of phonics, which is called phonics C2C. C2C standing for chaos to clarity. Okay. And how it has come up. It is an Indian phonics system, which most of you would not have heard of, because the founder of the institute, she's not really marketed it enough. Now, when my partner and I have taken over the franchisee 3 years ago, we decided that we need to take it out there, to the common public, to teachers, for them to know. And more than just selling our products or something, we need to teach them the correct way to do it. And believe me, it will make it so easy for your child. Right now, reading, which is a big tension for mothers, writing, which is a big tension, you're like trying to pull your child, drag their attention, forcing them to write, all that gets taken care of. Okay. And the founder of our system is a lady called Miss Veena Basu. She has 2 clinics here in Mumbai. She's a remedial counselor herself, studied abroad. From the institute, the founder of phonics, from his institute itself, and she's looked at all these different phonics methods. Now, any of y'all have heard of what kind of phonics have you heard of? What names? When I say phonics, what sort of names have you?
Polyphonic?
Jolly phonics.
Yes, Jolly, and which other? See, Jolly being the most common, okay?
Yeah,
Because
I've just heard this.
yes, most people
Yeah.
in India would have heard only Jolly, because genuinely they have marketed it well. It's a UK-based system. Apart from that, there are other systems like Waldorf, Letterland. All of these are international based, but some schools are
Okay.
using them. So you might come across them, some school, when you go for admissions, they'll say we use Letterland. So these are just
Okay.
different forms of phonics systems. What is
So
the
there are
main-
differences in them.
Yes, the main
Okay.
differences in this system is the sequence of the alphabets. Okay, how our schools used to teach ABCD order, like Jolly Phonics has these grouping of alphabets because it's based on research, which our system also follows because there's research supporting it. Letter line starts with M, N, and some other alphabets, so they all have their different sequences. Okay, and of course, also from the countries that they have come up with, they have got those contextual issues. You know that like Waldorf has 72 sounds, Jolly Phonics has 42, we have 44. You know, so these minor differences. Okay, these are the differences in all the systems. So when you pick up a system for your child, again you need to know when you're sending for classes which system. Why school, you do not have a choice, you follow whichever system the school follows. Okay, so that is how, and how our system has come is that from all these systems Reena ma'am has studied, she has found out the good points, what research supports. She has studied all of that and made this approach called Phonics C2C. And which is what is best about Phonics C2C is that we have 5 different levels. So you don't have to guess कि इसके बाद अभी मैं क्या करूँ, okay? Alphabets also, which order to teach the alphabets. After alphabets, when you come to 3-letter words also, which order to teach them. Like our storybooks also numbered 1.1, 1.2 at every level. So you do not even need to think that because you would not know what research is supporting. You know, when we teach vowels, what is the natural way that we are teaching? A, E, I, O, U, because that is the order that it comes in. But when we teach 3-letter words, we teach in the order of, like with a vowel sound in the middle, we teach A, I, U, O, E. Okay, because research says the beginning alphabets have vowels, have more common words, have more words, and they are easier for the child to understand. Okay, so you don't need to know the technicality behind it, but our books are numbered also in that way. So there is a very clear-cut system to it. Okay, now since majority of the people, I think I hear quite a lot of them, let me start screen sharing and just take you to the history, because how all of us are wondering that suddenly kahan se aa gaya phonics, you know. At our schooling time, we had never heard of anything called phonics. So suddenly, where has it come from? So let me just start my screen sharing. Okay, is this visible to everybody?
Yes, Karishma, it is visible.
Okay. So now where phonics came from is that in the late 1990s, the US had a study. They made a committee that most of our children are dropping out of high school. They are not doing college. So they set up a committee to find out what is the reason for this. Okay.
Thank you.
Ruchi, can you mute everyone else? Because some of them might not be able to hear it.
Yeah, I'm just doing it. I'm doing
Yeah.
it.
Okay. So what happened is that the US set up this committee to figure out why their kids are not dropping out of high school and not doing college in the late 1990s. And this is a shocking report that came out in the year 2000, and they applied it. The panel said that these 5 points that you see in front of you, these are the 5 things that need to be done correctly for them to do well in later studies. Now, these 5 things, if you see, are things that we do in play school, okay, before standard 1. First is something called phonemic awareness. It is the understanding of sound. Okay, when we do our training, we have exercises with sound where there is no alphabet in the picture at all. It is only sound, because phonics is essentially a sound-based system. Okay, so phonemic awareness is absolutely a different concept on sound. So that is one thing which is very important. The second thing is actual phonics, what we understand as alphabets and their sounds. Third is reading fluency. So only if you do phonics correctly, not only alphabets, the next 2-3 levels, blends, 3-letter words, all of that, will you come to reading fluency. After that is vocabulary development. That, you know, the broader your vocabulary, the better you will do in studies at a higher age. And last is reading comprehension strategies. So, you know, what we do is when we give children comprehension, that you give a passage and you remove questions from that. Okay, they have to think, understand. It might not be a direct answer. So understanding what you are reading, applying it, being able to imagine it. Okay, so these are the 5 things. So this was a very shocking study at that time, because they were looking at high school and college education, and this is what they got. So this is where they decided to implement phonics in all their schools in the year 2000. Now this is the US. Same thing is done in the UK in the year 2006. UK government makes synthetic phonics mandatory in all schools. Okay. So synthetic phonics is nothing like, not like original or not original or synthetic. Synthetic just means that the system of phonics where you have different sounds, you blend them together to get words. So that a form of synthetic phonics is compulsory in all schools. So now this is where phonics has come into the picture. Okay. So we do not give it its due importance. Everyone thinks are ABC to hai. No, it is not that. It is not only ABC. It is going to determine the direction of your child's career. Okay, how well they are reading is a major issue. Also vocabulary development. And there are other things like self confidence, general knowledge, all that grows with your reading and understanding of sound. Also, if you notice nowadays, in the second, third and fourth standard, many teachers will complain. Till first, nobody notices. In second, third and fourth, teachers start noticing, oh God, this child cannot do composition. He cannot even write a single sentence clearly. So now let's take him to the counselor. So this is where all these academic problems stem from, but it is too late when we come to know. Till first is mainly when we do phonics. But second, third, mein jahan we get the kids get to write longer things, that is when they realize, okay, oh God, the kid is not up to the mark. So of course we work on that. We have remedial counseling, but a simpler solution is to just do it well from the beginning. Now, anyone has any questions regarding the history of phonics? Then we'll just come to the next bit about it. I'll just ask you all at the end of every short sort of a short point. If you have any questions, then we can go ahead. Okay, I think nothing in that bit. Okay. Now, when we are teaching alphabets, okay, like in our training, we do not begin with alphabets. All trainings begin with alphabets usually. Our training is the only one which we have alphabets coming on day 2. Day 1, alphabets are not even in the picture. Okay, so there is so much more before you come to the letter A that you need to do. Okay, so that is like a complete section in itself. But now when you finally do come to alphabets, you always should use a multi-sensory strategy. What was the older way how we were taught? Okay, A is put up. Teacher is saying A many times. We are repeating A. We are writing it many times. Okay, so it was mainly visual and auditory. But now the concept of multi-sensory has come in. You would be reading it around many places, but without being 100% sure what they want to say. So multi-sensory is when you teach any activity using more than 2 senses. Like visual and auditory is like there always. Someone is going to show you something, they're going to speak, you're going to hear. So that is always there. But we add more senses into our in our products, like tactile, where touch comes into it. Those of you who know Montessori know they have sandpaper alphabets. So, you add another sense. How many more senses you add, better the child will learn. Okay, so tactile is one of the additional senses you add. And still an additional sense is kinesthetic. Like, now this applies to a lot of children right now. Most mothers will say, my child is very hyper, refusing to sit. So, then the child is kinesthetically inclined. Means he will learn better with activity. If you just make him sit and show him an alphabet A and you say, nahi, ke aap isse hi seekho, it's not natural for the child. His learning system is to move around, to learn with activity. So for every single alphabet, we have a action. Okay, that happens in Jolly Phonics also. It happens in our system also. One or two of them might be the same, like simple things like apple or but what is the difference is that we have kept the things regarding the Indian culture in mind. Like in Jolly Phonics, you have the action of breaking an egg. Now that doesn't work well with people of all cultures. So we've just got elephant in ours. Okay, so just keeping that context in mind, that what children see in the Indian culture and how they learn. Another thing is that Jolly Phonics teaches alphabet sounds, like for example H with it's not her the way we learnt it. The newer international sounds, if most of you all have heard what are being taught in schools now, Like S is not S, it is S. That A sound is to be cut down. Okay, so that is how all the alphabets are. So for example, some of these other systems have H, H for hiccup. Now hiccup, a 3-year-old child might not understand, you know. They, whenever they've spoken about a hiccup, they would have known in their language what it's called, maybe. Maybe they've not realized, they're too young. Okay, so ideally you should teach alphabets with concrete items, what they can see and hold. So we have H, say horse, or you know, something like that. So it's very important that when you're teaching them alphabets, also not that you pick up anything, okay, to teach the alphabet. Be careful, you try to pick up things which are familiar for the child, which are concrete. Try to pick those things up first rather than abstract items. Okay. Also, you need to be careful, like for example, most ready products in the market, if you see, they will have A for aeroplane. Okay, the minute you see that, you know that that material is not correct. A says A, that is what you're teaching the child. Then aeroplane is not aeroplane. So what will happen if you teach the word aeroplane for A, either the child will pronounce it wrong as aeroplane, or he will be confused because it's not beginning with A. Okay, it's aeroplane, which has another sound, different spelling. Okay, so these small minutest details need to be taken care of if you want to make sure that you do not confuse the child, okay, at the beginning. And as you know, all psychologists or any psychology student here will know, it is more difficult to unlearn something wrong that you have learned rather than learning something new. So once that wrong thing gets into the head, it will take you a very long and difficult time to get it out. So if some child has learnt aeroplane or he's saying aeroplane, it will take you a long time, okay, to make him sort of remove that from his thing and put something else in. So please teach the correct thing from the beginning. Okay, there are these small technical details, but you will know if some teacher or someone is teaching that to your child, you will know, you know, that there is an issue somewhere. Now there is also a mouth formation for every single alphabet. Okay, how your mouth should be. So when we do training, we give the entire list of A to Z, Z, and we also make the children, the mothers practice with us. Okay, but where your tongue should be for each sound, it's important. When you teach alphabets, sit in such a way that the child can see your mouth. So even the actions that we are doing to associate in their mind, say A says A for apple, mouth dikhna chahiye bacche ko. They should be sitting in such a way. All the actions that you do, keep it on the side. They should be able to see your mouth clearly. Okay, in their mind, they are going to associate all these things. Thus, what you have said, auditory, what you're showing to them, how your mouth is looking, the action that you're doing, they'll associate all of it. Okay, and when teaching alphabets, always have capital and small together. Now, why is that? You know, many schools are teaching either one. Why together is because the child is going to form a connection in their head, okay, that this is the letter A, the name of the alphabet, and the small alphabet is the sound A. It is not big and small alphabet, you know, don't teach the child this is big and small or this is capital and small. The capital letter is the name of the alphabet A, and the small one is the sound A. So that is how you teach them. Also, do not teach them with only one picture. Like most company flashcards, if you see, they will have A, and apple. Seedha. But what happens is that we are not trying to teach the child A is apple. We are trying to teach them A is A. That sound is important. Okay, so you need multiple pictures. So whenever you show arrow and show 5-6 images at least. So they associate arrow, apple, and that is when they realize it is a sound from which words are beginning. If you just show one and keep saying only apple, it will just be sort of mugged in the head, A is apple. The minute you show a third picture, they will not understand it, or they will not be able to answer you that this is something beginning with the sound A. Okay, so again, that is one thing that you need to keep in mind when you're teaching. Now, anyone has any questions related to alphabets as of now? Only alphabets? Then I would take you to the next level. First level is alphabet. Teaching alphabets, their sounds correctly with about 5 to 8 friends. So anyone has any queries regarding alphabets, teaching of alphabets, the order of the alphabets? As I said, Jolly Phonics teaches in an order called SATPIN. They begin with the letter S, A, T, I, P, N. Okay. Same thing we follow our system. Why? Because research is supporting it. What is the reason for doing with these grouping of alphabets? That if you teach, you don't have to wait for the whole alphabet for the child to make words. These are those popular common alphabets which are easy for the child to understand and with which you can make many words. So the minute the child knows these alphabets, they can make sat, pin, nip, tap, pat, okay, a lot of words. That is the reason. So you don't need to wait till Z. You can, with this group of alphabets, they start making their words early. Then you introduce the next group of alphabets. Every one alphabet that you introduce, the next group of alphabets, the first alphabet is C. So the minute you introduce C, they can make the word cat, because in the first group, A and T is already done. So they can make cat, can, because those are already done. Okay, so that is the logic behind it for Jolly Phonics teaching in grouping form. And same, our research shows that. But I tell mothers always that please don't, go like be flexible, go in the order that the school is going. You will tell the child, nahi, this is the correct way, research is showing this, let school do whatever, I will do SATPIN only. No, the child will get confused. Okay, so go in whichever order the school is going. This is one level where you will have to wait and see in which order school is going. The child is learning ABCD and you start with S, it will not work well. Okay, together if you and school are doing two different things. Also, school, by chance, some of the schools might still be teaching S is sir. You might say S is S. So S is the new one, it is the correct one, it is what majority of the systems are using. Okay, but if your child's school is still saying sir, 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 go with that. Then child will go and tell the teacher, my mother said it is this, you are saying something else. Okay, don't get into that. When alphabets are being taught, you will unnecessarily confuse the child. Sonal, you have a question, please ask.
या एक्चुअली शायद मैं थोड़ी कंफ्यूज हो गई इसमें लाइक मेरी बेटी ना अभी 3 इयर्स की होने वाली है, तो नॉर्मली जैसे हम पढ़ते थे मैंने तो उसको वैसे ही सिखा दिया, A for apple, B for ball टाइप. So like I just saw so many posts regarding phonics, so I was getting confused. तो जैसे आप ये बता रहे हो ना, अगर मैं इस टाइप से अब उसको सिखाना चाहूँ तो मैं कैसे उसको कन्वर्ट करूँ? अब तो उसको मैंने पूरा ABCD नॉर्मल जैसे हम सीखते थे मैंने उसको सिखा दिया, अब मैं कैसे इसको करूँ?
Right. See, what you do is first school कैसे जा रहा है? How is the school
तो
teaching?
अभी वो गई नहीं.
Okay, online also she is not doing.
No.
Okay, so then what you do is, then do not, अभी कुछ भी आप मत करो. The way you have taught her A to Z with whatever images, वो रहने दो. आप सिर्फ revision कैसे करो कि give her more friends of each alphabet. Like अभी आपने A apple करा दिया. Make sure कि she can recognize visually capital A दोनों recognize करना चाहिए. Whenever you make her do alphabets, दोनों उधर होना चाहिए. Okay, the letter A and the sound A. दोनों always she should be able to connect with each other कि ये A है, ये इसका sound है A, तो वो दोनों साथ में सिखाइए. And also teach more friends of that. Like अभी तक आपने सिर्फ apple शायद सिखाया है, so give more words with that. So you can make a scrapbook. Don't make it boring कि नहीं अभी चलो we are going to do something more, बैठो करो. Make a scrapbook. On the left hand side write a capital A and A. बड़ा सा ऐसे ही रहने दीजिए. And on the opposite side tell her let's find things and stick जो A से start होता है. Okay, so you will notice कि आप 2-3 alphabets करेंगे ना, फिर वो खुद भी ढूंढेगी घर पे. From newspapers, from any small books, cut. But just आपने सिखा दिया है, she knows the base. But when you redo this, no, आपको realize होगा कि some alphabets and sounds are not clear. Because जैसे A और apple बोल लेगी, अगर आप बोलेंगे अभी don't teach anything, suddenly you tell her today कि ant starts with which alphabet, she will think. Because अभी सिर्फ एक alphabet और एक sound में वो थोड़ा मगअप भी हो जाता है. They are younger kids, no, song सुनते हैं, every day we are doing that, तो वो थोड़ा मगअप भी हो जाता है. So don't worry, अभी school चालू नहीं है, don't worry, just do this. Teach her the big A and small A एक साथ दोनों देख के she should be able to say A and A. Okay, and sound पे ज्यादा focus देना है आपको, because capital alphabets we use only in the beginning of a word when we are writing our proper nouns. but majority जो वो देखते हैं are the smaller alphabets and the sounds. Okay, sound is the main thing. So ज़्यादा आप sound पे focus कीजिए अभी and give more friends of every alphabet. So at least by the time school पे वो जाएगी next year and she has to start 3-letter words, वो sound and alphabet should be 100% clear.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyone, any other questions? Like only regarding alphabets for now. Now we are going on to the next level. That's why. Yes, Sarah, you raised.
Can I go ahead with my question?
Yes, Sarah, please.
Yeah, so basically my child is just 3 years and 4 months now.
Okay.
So we are teaching him currently. I've taught him these basics like the standing line, sleeping line, all these lines and strokes he's very familiar with. And slowly
Okay.
I'm beginning to introduce him with the alphabets. So now the problem, I would not say problem, the thing now is like me as well as my mother-in-law both are teachers, okay?
Okay, great.
So the thing is, he follows more of the traditional methods.
Right.
And being a teacher, I'm a little aware about all these phonetics and how to deal with, how to make the child go through or understand phonics. And so the problem now is, she wants him to learn the alphabets first. Okay, just what she says is, ek bar he learns that, you know, how to write an A, how to write a B. Then we can start with the alphabets, how he can recognize. But I'm trying to teach him when he looks at the alphabet, no, he learns the sound of the alphabet. So is that the right approach?
Yes, sound should always be taught first because kids are ready for that at an earlier age.
Okay.
Writing, no, all kids' muscles do not develop at the same pace. So some children will write well in nursery, some that grip will not have been formed. So writing, ideally, you know, most schools wait till 4. What they do in nursery is that they do not have writing in nursery, only visual recognition of alphabets and their friends, only oral work. And they come to writing in the next year. So what I would suggest is that if your child's grip and, you know, is willing to do, you're saying standing, sleeping lines are going well, teach it all together. Since your child is seeming ready for it, teach it together. But again, I would say go with school on whether they are writing capital alphabets first or small alphabets first.
Okay.
Just ask them that, because same thing, school is teaching small alphabets in ABCD order and you will start teaching capital alphabets in standing, sleeping line order. So it's not going together at all. So child is going to get
I
confused.
haven't admitted him in a school yet. So we are just homeschooling him and beginning to homeschool him right now. So this
Okay.
was one query which was running on my mind for quite some time.
Right. So see, since your child is doing standing, sleeping, no, I think the child is showing readiness for writing. Do
Okay.
more pattern writing and begin with A to Z then in the correct order, you know.
All right, all right.
Yes, because that is the Indian way. Or if, you know, even many mothers have asked me this, I tell them that they've not started school, but they're going to start next year. So I tell them that in case you have fixed up a school, you have already taken admission, or you're sure which school the child is going to ask some parent of that school, if you know anyone around you, that just in which order did they do. Okay, so just basically all not to confuse the child and not to teach them in two very different ways. Okay, and in case all that is not a concern, you are thinking maybe I'll directly put him in first with the COVID scenario and all. So go ahead, teach him in ABCD order, do pattern writing first, get that writing readiness there. Then, you know, there are also these tablets available in the market. Montessori, again, whoever knows will know, it doesn't really write. It's red and blue lines at the background, and there's a groove, A with a groove. So a pen will not really write. There's just a plastic or wooden pen for grip and to write in that groove. So formation will become clear. So you know how you know, small A is not an easy alphabet to write. Capital A, if you write, okay, standing, sleeping, light, but so you can get those kind of things to help you, because you have still not put him in a school, so you are going to do all of this stuff at home, you know. So that is a good idea. And you know, in our training we also show a lot of ways to make them do formation of alphabets, lot of techniques, lot of art and craft with sand, with, you know, pipe cleaners, with cotton, all of that. But for now you can just work on this.
Okay.
We'll be talking about training again more towards the end of the session. You can see if that will help you later. But that is how you do it for now. And all mothers, when you are doing alphabets, please be very careful of the formation. Okay, you can Google it, but do not teach them wrong. For example, a capital A does not go like this, like a mountain. No, it begins with the top, down one side, down the other, and the line. Okay, it's not like a mountain. Small a, very, very particular, especially when you're doing all these small alphabets, be very particular. They are going to use those in daily writing. So I had a child who would do like an E. If he had to write an E, he would make a C and a loop ending in the middle. Now, the minute you end that alphabet in the middle, how do you join to the next alphabet? Okay, so formation is very, very important. Towards the end of the session, I'll tell you we have a phonics C2C on YouTube. If you go, there are 10-second videos on how to the correct formation for every single alphabet. Okay, they say begin on the top blue line, make a curve, whatever, they say out the whole thing. Okay, so please see that or just Google it, but do not teach them the wrong formation. Good handwriting is not like a necessity, but correct formation is very important. Okay, so they end where they are to end so that it gives them a way to join to the next alphabet. Okay, so please be very careful about that. Rupal, you had a question?
Yes, I did have a question. I think this has been really insightful because my baby is just 8 months old and still I chose to join this session. So I was just listening to what the other mothers were saying, and I was just wondering, what is the right age to start all of this? Because, phonics is new to me as well. I also just know the traditional ABCD that we have all learned.
Right. No, see, the correct age would be somewhere around 2.5. But, just see when your child is sort of ready. Before that, before we actually just start off with alphabets, do make them, sing some nursery rhymes, just have picture books and talk about it. Give them enough stuff for fine and gross motor skills so that the muscles are ready. So do all
Right.
that from right now till 2.5. At 2.5,
Okay.
introduce the alphabet. Again, I'll be talking about training at the end, of the session. In that, we actually teach how do you begin. Child is in front of you. First of all, before you do alphabets, there are sound exercises. Once you come to alphabets, there are big picture talk charts. There is an action to be taught with every alphabet so that it connects better in their brain. It is one more sense that you are adding. So it's like a multi-sensory thing. They will learn faster. So, there's like a way, there are flashcards because as I said, you cannot have only A and apple. You need more friends of that alphabet. Okay, so all these other things are there. If you teach them correctly, there will be just no confusion. Okay.
Right,
As I said,
right.
you cannot teach aeroplane in A under any circumstance.
Yes,
Okay, it
yes.
doesn't come into it. So just if you
Okay.
keep all those technical things correctly in mind, it's not as difficult as it looks and sounds. So we will be coming more to that towards the end.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thanks, Rupal. Yeah. Okay, so if we are done with the queries on alphabets, which is level 1, I'll go on to level 2 now, which is 3-letter words. Okay, when you start reading, we are not going to start with big words like toast and shell and, things like that. We are going to start how most schools start with cat, mat, hat, the normal 3-letter words. So these are called CVC words. Consonant, vowel, consonant. Okay. So those kind of words, which 3-letter words with a vowel in the middle. Now, very truly tell me how many of y'all did not know that vowels have a short and long sound. Vowels have 2 sounds. How many people knew that and how many did not know?
You can drop your answers in the chat box.
Yeah, Ruchi, can you just see and let me know, because I think the screen share might stop if I try to.
Yeah. So if you know there are like 2 sounds, put it yes. If you know if you don't know, put a no.
Very truly, please. Okay, so that we'll just know, that it's a very basic thing. The child cannot read without this, but are we all made aware of this? That every vowel, A, E, I, O, U, all of them have 2 sounds.
Okay, Vaishnavi is saying she knew, but she didn't know how to use it.
Okay.
Amrita
But
is
majority
saying,
is swinging
yeah,
towards yes or no?
Yes, no. Majority are
No.
saying no.
Okay. Right. So what are short vowel sounds are the sounds that we learn in the alphabet. A says A, E says E. All these are the short vowel sounds. And the long vowel sounds of all the vowels are their own names. Like A is the long, cake. When you say the word cake, rain. Okay, so that A sound that you hear is the long vowel sound of A. So all vowels have the short sounds which we hear when we do the alphabet, and long sounds which are their names of their their letter names. A, E, I, O, U. Okay. Now why I am telling you this? Because this and the next level use short vowel sounds. The 2 levels after that use long vowel sounds. So, but imagine it is such a basic thing that you cannot even read words like cake, make, rain, tray, all of those. Okay. Like say and day. You cannot teach us 3-letter words. Is it saying sir, a, ya, sai or something like that? No. You can't teach that to the child because the sound is different. So most people are not concretely teaching the children that there is a short and long vowel sound. When they come to words like cake, bake, they just say piche e hai to bol do, you know. That is the kind of thing teachers will just say bol do. So if we will come to the rule, but if you know it, it is a matter of that one understanding. Otherwise, kids are confused for 6-8 months. I know children, mothers who have come and told me कि ये आपने मुझे बताया, in 1 week my daughter is done with it. Otherwise, 3 months से she was confused in school. कि cake कैसे बना, you know, how did that word come up? Sound कैसे आ गया? Okay, so we will be coming to that, but main thing is that this letter is this level is short vowel sounds, 3-letter words. So when we start reading, this is what we do first. Now, how schools are teaching 3-letter words? At, am, and word families. Right? Short and easy way. It's not wrong for a school which has many children. But if I give the child the word wax, it is again a short vowel A sound word, so they will still not be able to read it because they have sort of mucked up at, am, and. So we do not teach that way. We teach reading out every individual sound. That way, if they come across any word, they will not be stuck. Okay? The only way you know that you have fluency in a language is if you can read and spell unknown words. So that is not going to happen with all these shortcuts. Okay? So you need to sound out every individual sound. And at, am mein ho jayega. What about the word rain? Where does the sound and spelling and all match in that? Fir usme kya karenge? Okay, so that is the reason that you work on every individual sound. Now, Sonal, I've seen your hand raised. Just give me a moment to talk about this. So if anyone has any other questions. Okay. Now, even I will not go into too much detail, but when we do a storybook, what is the tendency that parents have is they'll just flip open the page and start reading. No. Whenever you are getting into a book, first talk about the title, especially when you want the child to read that book. Okay. Talk about the title. What is the title? What can you see? It doesn't have to be a very fancy thing. Okay. Now this, for example, dad's lad is Dan. Simple hai. And the picture. Now we ask the child, what do you think this book will be about? So most will say it's about a father and child. Okay. Mostly will say, and we can see the house in the background. Some might say it's about a circus. See, they're children. Okay. They will say anything. So are you going to say, no, you can't say you are wrong? No. Tell the child, okay, let's read the book and see. Let that self-realization come that what is it about. Okay? Don't put them down for anything. No, you're wrong. Kahi bhi aisa kuch hoga, you feel purposely also the child is saying, you just say, okay, wait, let's see. Okay? Don't put them down and saying, you don't know anything, you're wrong. Kahan hai kuch circus jata, why are you saying? No, don't do all of that. Okay? Then they will hesitate to answer and even you're killing the imagination. Okay? At a point. So let them come to that self-realization कि नहीं इसके बारे में नहीं था. Okay, and I don't have to overthink or underthink anything. जो दिख रहा है वो ठीक है. Second thing is that when they know the stories about the father and the child, when they start reading, there is less pressure. They already know कि father and child पे है कुछ story, so they read in such a way. Okay, and now one thing that makes these storybooks very different. The minute you go to the market, okay, your child has 4, you realize कि चलो अभी थोड़ा basic reading. Let's start. You go to the market. You say, give me reading books. Okay, I have 3-letter words. They'll say yes, लिखा भी होगा ऊपर reading level 1. They'll give you a book, ऊपर लिखा होगा cats. So you feel okay, yes, my child can read this. The minute you open the page and you start reading, the first probably, the sentence will be, my cat's name is Toto. He loves to play with wool, whatever, okay? Now, how many words in this can the child actually read? Apart from the 3-letter words, the child is dependent on you. to read out the rest. They'll get stuck at every word. Confidence, smooth reading, fluency, kuch nahi aayega. So now these books that we have made, first of all, the minute you open the page, there is a page having all the words mentioned in that story. All are only 3-letter words with the A sound in the middle. Entire story is made up of those words, and sight words in the middle, like is, are, those kind of words which you cannot pronounce phonetically. Okay, they are different from their phonetic sounds. So you have to only by sight know them. So there is a separate list of sight words. The top box has these words which come in the story, only 3-letter words with the A sound in the middle, and sight words. Pura story usse bana hai. So there are 2 advantages to this. One, because the child has read all the words before, the child will not stop. Okay, he will continuously read. Like otherwise, if I had not made him do normal book, how he would have read it? The dad has a bag. So by the time they finish the sentence, ek to itna time laga hai, and they have probably forgotten the meaning of it. Okay, so this will make reading smoother, faster. They will know the meaning. And second thing is the confidence. They will not stop and say, "No, mama, I'm not comfortable. I'm not knowing you read. Mujhe nahi padhna hai." All that will not come into it. Okay, because they can read every single word. So that is the reason for these decoded storybooks. That is what they are. That on the as soon as you open on the left hand side, they are the list of words. Pehle wo padhenge, fir we start the story. Okay, and only 3-letter words with A sound is in it. Okay, not a single other word. So every single word the child can read. Okay, now Sonal, your question, please.
Hello.
Yes,
Yeah,
Sonal.
like I wanted to ask, if even I want to learn it first, तभी तो मैं बच्चे को सिखा पाऊंगी ना. Like जो आपने बताया A for capital और small वाला, तो like मैं जैसे सीखना चाहती हूँ तो मुझे कहाँ पे refer करना चाहिए? मतलब कोई ऐसी book?
नहीं, हम लोग ही करवाने वाले हैं session from Monday. So towards the end of it, we will just tell you.
Okay.
We will talk about the details of it towards the end of the session.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah, just sort of understand the levels right now. कि हम लोग जो समझ है उससे there is a lot more, and it is quite systematic if you know how to do it. Okay.
Yeah, actually अगर हम पहले हम ही नहीं सीख पाएंगे तो हम बच्चे को भी गलत सिखा सकते हैं ना. पता चला
Exactly, that is the problem जो हो रहा है अभी. Yeah, that is the main problem. And see, mothers not knowing, I can understand, but teachers को भी नहीं सिखाते हैं teachers course में when they do these teacher trainings. That is more shocking. कि at least teachers should know. Mothers ठीक है, we are not from that field. You might be in, you know, finance or any other field. तो ठीक है, आपका forte नहीं है. It's not your topic. But अगर teachers को भी नहीं आ रहा है, then it is something that has to be done. Plus, आप जो teacher के पास भेजेंगी ना, supposing you all are sending your kids to phonics teachers, ask. We are coming to rules. Ask about these 2-3 rules. Teachers will not be able to answer it. Okay, so wo basic things, if teachers also don't know it, that then there is a problem. So I always suggest कि mothers ही learn करके बच्चों को सिखाओ, because phonics is not something के 6 महीने के class में हो जाएगा. No, if you want to do all these 5 levels well at the pace of your child, 3 years लगेगा. Okay, very smart child, you are doing it very dedicatedly, 2.5 years still, but it is the base. So, and if you think अरे expensive है, मेरे को करना है, if you see the cost for 3 years compared to once you learn it and do it correctly with your child, there is no comparison. Okay, so we will come to that towards the end. So up till now, we have done 2 levels. We have understood first level is alphabets and their sounds. We have like one entire session on that. Second is reading level 1, which has 3-letter words with the short vowel sounds in the middle. Now the next level is blends. Blends are 2 consonants together. For example, b and l, blur. Okay, but there are 2 different sounds. If you want to, make it shorter still, b or l dono sunai de raha hai. So it is not one sound. There are 2 different sounds, but there are 2 consonants together, which we almost read automatically. Okay, so now there are something called beginning blends and ending blends. अभी schools क्या करते हैं? They at least beginning blends करा तो देते हैं. Okay, but how they will do it? These l blends है, the first line. First day they will do blur, clur, flur, glur, plur, slur. सब एक ही पेज पे. Blur का एक word black, clur का एक word blue, कोई भी एक word से करा देंगे. Same thing as the alphabets. You cannot teach with one word. Okay, you need some additional words. Blur is black. We are not teaching the child. We need to teach blur as a sound at the beginning of every word. So schools are doing this topic not well, genuinely. एक पेज पे करके छोड़ देंगे. Okay, and ending blends तो schools कर ही नहीं रहे हैं. Okay, children are just sort of left. कह रहे, you know this alphabet sound, no, तो ये blend कर लो, पढ़ लो. I have taught you MP, no, तो lamp आपको, you should know how to read lamp. Okay, but see, we know alphabets. For children today, if I tell you chalo Mandarin सीखने बैठो, how you will feel confused in your mind. You need someone to give you that step by step, you know. So children also need it when they are starting alphabets. Why people assume कि अरे ABC तो है, how difficult can it be, you know? क्यों समझ में नहीं आ रहा है तुझे? No. Imagine you have, whenever you get to this, no, think कि अरे मैं Mandarin सीखने बैठ रही हूँ, कैसे लगेगा? That is how the child is confused in the head, okay, at that time. So you need to teach all these things systematically. As I said again and again, if a wrong thing is in the head, it is not going to go. Okay, so make sure that you teach once correctly. So this is the third level, okay, of reading, which has beginning and ending blends. So we have done alphabets, 3-letter words, and then blends. The minute you know your blends, you can make 4-letter words. Either beginning में होगा blend, या ending में, or even a 5-letter word, because beginning ending दोनों में blend होगा. Slept, slept, drink, bring. Okay, these words have beginning and ending में blend, so they start reading 4 and 5-letter words. Now see, these are 3 rules. Okay, now this is going to come as a shock to most people. First of all, again, yes or no in the chat box, please. How many of you all, is CK another sound, yes? Or is it the same sound as C and K?
If you feel it is another sound, please mention it in the chat box.
Is it a different sound? Yes. Is it the same sound as CK? No.
They're saying different sound.
Okay. Now, first of all, it is the same sound. C, K, CK. All 3 have the same sound. K. We don't say it as K, we say it as K. Okay, that is the way it is said. But just so that you all can hear me clearly, it is the same sound K. C, K, CK. So actually we have 26 alphabets with 25 sounds. Okay, amongst them. Because C and K is the same sound. Now CK is also the same sound. So फिर at the end of a word, why do we write CK? Simple question. Okay? ये इतने common words है, child will get to these in senior KG. 4-letter words है, pick है, वो आ जाएगा, sock आ जाएगा, clock आ जाएगा शायद. Okay? So anybody has any idea why CK is written together? Pick के मैं PIC भी लिख देती तो भी pick ही होता. PIK लिखती तो भी pick ही होता sound. So why am I writing CK? Okay? Anyone, any idea at all?
No.
Okay, so now this is a question that a 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old child can ask. 100%. मुझे भी पूछा है, okay? So I know they do ask. Because even I find it a very logical question. Why should I write an extra alphabet? Okay? And you will be very surprised. I went to a play school for training and the head of the department said, I don't know all this. I'm just sitting because you need some number of teachers. I said, okay, we came to the CK rule. I asked her, okay, ma'am, if you can say Q likh raha hai CK. She's saying C is lonely, to K haath pakad ke chal raha hai. And I was like, for 2 minutes, I was like, what do I say? Okay, I said, ठीक है, तो पिकनिक में क्यों नहीं लगा रहे हम लोग CK? सिर्फ C क्यों है पिकनिक? End में क्यों CK नहीं है? So she had absolutely no answer. Okay, same thing. If your child will ask the teacher will give some sort of a story like this, or teacher will say English is a funny language. डाला है तो लिख लो. Okay, I am telling you that is the only logic enough. But no, there is a rule. If you explain the rule correctly, the child is never going to get confused. Okay, I will read out the rule. Thoda technical hai. Don't try to understand it right now. But there is a rule that when a single syllable word which has a short vowel ends in the k sound, to CK dono likhna hai. Okay, now first everyone will ask me what is a syllable. Again, syllable के बिना we cannot read and write. And teachers को अगर मैं पूछती हूँ ना क्या है syllable, they'll tell me वो थोड़ा छोटा word जैसा होता है. Imagine teachers are giving that answer, okay? Syllable is when, supposing I tell you to write the word helicopter. You're a young child, 7, 8 years old. How naturally you break up the word he-li-cop-ter. Okay, that is what is syllable. वो naturally we break up the word, what we can say in one breath with a vowel sound. Okay, अभी ये basic सबको मालूम होना चाहिए, at least teachers को, so that you tell the child. So if you know what is a syllable, फिर ये सब rules समझ में आएंगे. But it is not done. Teachers only can't answer when I tell them कि syllable क्या है. Okay, so that is what I'm saying कि अगर syllable ही नहीं पता है तो rule में कैसे डालेंगे. Okay, but the minute the child knows this word, this rule, कि ये सब condition है तो मैं सीखे डालूं end में, he will never ever go wrong. Okay, it's a straightforward thing. If you have taught clearly from the beginning कि अभी तक जो sound की ABCD में the short vowel sounds, single syllable word, तो सीखे लिखो end में. It's not complicated, but we don't know this rule. We have never taught. Syllable ही क्या है नहीं समझ में आ रहा है. Okay, and it is something so natural. If I put that word, say vacation, in front of you, and I'll say read out, how we will read vacation, you know, I say naturally that is the way we break up the word in syllable form. What you can say in one breath. It's a natural thing, and we needed to read unknown words or spell them, but it is just not taught correctly. Next rule, again floss rule. No one has even heard. Simple words है, hill, tell, doll, ये सब तो वर्ड सीनियर केजी तक बच्चे के सामने आएंगे कहीं पे. Again child will ask same problem. Why is there double L? Teacher will say मैंने बोला, लिख लो, खत्म. Okay, but there is the same rule like the CK rule. Single syllable word, short vowel, and if you hear any of these at the end, double लिखो. Okay, it is a rule. I'm not getting too much into the technical bit. वो सब training में आता है, but in general that if the child asks, we are not being able to answer it also. Okay, we are just asking the children to shut up कि मैंने बोला तो लिखो, which is absolutely wrong. Okay, there is a rule, and once the child knows this, he will never be confused. Next rule, cake है, तो how cake आया किधर से pronunciation cake? Why is it not cake? Okay, again it's a rule. E है end में, it is silent, and the vowel before it is saying its own name, the long vowel sound. A, cake. Okay, and now see how this translates to pronunciation. Supposing in front of the child I have put the word snake and snack. S-N-A-K-E, snake, S-N-A-C-K, snack. Okay, अभी अगर ये rule नहीं सिखाया है बच्चे को, we just ask them to guess. How, you know, we have people say in a fun joke way कि Gujaratis के लिए snack is snakes only, you know, how people say. वो pronunciation is a big issue, you know, for children and parents now. So it is not cake or whatever. The minute the child sees E, पीछे उसको मालूम है I have to say the A sound. तो cake, snake है तो E दिखा मुझे पीछे, I have to say the long A sound. Snake. And CK है पीछे rule में, तो I know कि short vowel sound है. Snack. A and A. Okay, so imagine ये rule सिखाया तो कितना clear हो जाता है. It helps in reading,